welcome back to Knitting in Our Jeans. I'm Liz.
I'm Carolyn.
And once again, we're coming to you from the couch.
Yes.
We're
hoping for a new venue next week.
We're hoping. We're not pushing it, but we're hoping.
Yes.
So
my clothing down
as we, as the Knitmores say, 1 minute health update, which usually for us doesn't involve. It's a bit longer than a minute, but.
So I got eyesight back on Thursday. I was seeing double up until then. I didn't really want to say anything.
I was going to say, because she told me this morning. So, and I was like, I turned to her and
I was getting a little upset, but I figured I'll just wait and see. And
she didn't say anything to anyone.
No. Why would I say anything? You couldn't do anything. So, which made it difficult. It does have a bearing on the knitting this week because I didn't get my circular sweater done as I was hoping to because, I don't know, somehow working at that was making me sick. I mean, literally nauseous.
Gaggy?
Yes, because something about my vision. But anyway, it's now stabilized. The glasses are now working again.
Yay!
Yes. Which is good since I had them new last year and had them fixed again this year. I really didn't want to buy a new pair of glasses. And then this, if you see the black, which is over my black, this is my ice pack, which we are loving.
It is called a Game Ready machine, which is a circulating ice machine.
Apparently $3,000, which is why we're only renting
I was going to say, because you looked into purchasing one, because it's awesome?
No. What the machine was that was going to come from Hospital for Special Surgery, and I thought it was best to use whatever they recommended. But this sleeve that I've got, you can buy it on Amazon for $400.
Oh.
Whereas some of the ice machines they have on Amazon, you can get for $179. So there's a different level of quality. Mm-hmm. This thing has quite a hose.
Yes.
Going to the ice reservoir. And I push the button on and it circulates ice water for 20 minutes because I set it for 20 minutes. I do it for 20 minutes. And then I've been doing it once an hour-ish, except earlier today, my husband had opened the bathroom window wide open. I was freezing, so I didn't want to put more freezing around my knee because then I would start to shiver. Anyway,
we have since remedied the window situation.
Right. I've absolutely, as of 6:30 a.m. yesterday morning, I have stopped taking my oxycodone.
Okay.
Because I figured out I was waking up in the morning with a headache, which yesterday got supremely worse. And so I spent all day hunkered down, moaning when I was awake, and then asleep most of the time. I'm doing much better today, so I haven't taken any oxy in a while. And then I realized that the prohibition for taking Advil and aspirin was really only before surgery rather than after surgery. So like ice dawning on a broken head or marble head. There's a saying in there someplace.
The light bulb went off?
Yeah. And light dawning on Marblehead.
There we go.
Yes, Marblehead is in Massachusetts, and it's one of the places where you can see dawn come up. So anyway, I went, I can just take Advil, and I will be as good as I could be for me with the oxy, because it wasn't taking away the pain as much. It was making me very sleepy, and I think it was contributing to my lack of visual acuity, which was very upsetting to me. I thought briefly about working on my counter cross stitch, and then that whole thought made me really nauseous. So I thought, all right, we're going to see if we can do without this. Now, I'm not sleeping as long. I'm back to sleeping my usual about 6 hours, which is fine, except that my husband sleeps like 9 or 10 hours. Yeah. And at the moment, I'm supposed to take help coming down the stairs. Monday, which is tomorrow, at physical therapy, I think I'm going to be given the green light to work with just a cane. And with that, I gain mobility because then I can get down the stairs with myself and I don't need to worry about getting the walker downstairs.
Right.
We do have to get the walker to the downstairs bathroom once he wakes up because that lets me use the various toilets in the house because it's got handhold. My walker has handholds at seated level, which then you can kind of heft yourself up. So it does have to come down at some point, but minor, really minor. I love the way my clothes kind of ride up in me. Anyway, so I'm doing better. I have this week, which is Monday and Thursday, with the video physical therapist. She did tell me I could go walking outside, so we've been out walking outside today.
We did 2 circuits of the
Front walk, driveway.
And driveway.
Yes. And then the 5-minute bell went off. Found out what shoes I can wear to go walking, which basically translates to what shoes I can get on my feet without hurting my knee. In other words, if they can't involve any pushing at this point, because it really sends a shock up to the knee. So we found some shoes that will work, and they are supportive shoes, so that's good.
They have her insoles in them.
Yes. Well, they're orthopedic shoes.
Well, they're orthopedic, and then I'm looking at them. They have your insoles in them, so
they do.
It's not.
So they're fine.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so off the heavy drugs, which is good. Knee is feeling better. Probably graduating to just a cane, with the walker to be used in the bathrooms. I think that, yeah, it will be necessary for also getting in and out of the shower. We can't use the shower stall shower because Richard was going to install a new shower head in there for me, which we bought. And the pipe is so old that it fractured in the wall. So what would have been a great idea, and the bathroom that I bought the shower seat for can't be used because right now it would be spewing water in the wall rather than out onto me. And I don't know, he just didn't want to deal with getting a plumber in to try to deal with it. And quite frankly, I'm okay with that because the bathroom was last dealt with in 1956. And I think right now we could actually get a bigger shower with the same floor space because you don't need that massive mortar to back up the shower tiles as much as you did. I mean, you can get backer board now, which is much thinner.
Yep.
So I'm thinking that we could get we could get a much better layout of the bathroom if I just wait and get it done all at one time, which is fine because also the sink in there is delaminating. So yes, it needs to be done, but it needs to be done after, we get some handle on COVID. Let's see what else is new. Had a COVID test for surgery, and that came out negative, so that's when they proceeded with the surgery.
Yes.
So not active, wasn't active with COVID, and then they did say that I had the antibodies, but who knows what that means, since no science group has really come to grips with that. And yet they're using blood from people with serum,
trying to
particularly
figure out
the ones that have had a serious case, to help heal other people.
It's
a fluid
I was
situation.
going to say it's an experimental procedure that because.
And if you were looking at going on a respirator, this is certainly something.
And I saw recently that it's like this. We've only known about this for 6 to 9 months.
Oh, and I got a Sephora mask. It's over there. It was one of the things I got with my points.
Oh.
Yeah, we were talking, and I got more of the Drunk Elephant lip balms this week. And I've got umpty points, so I used my points to get a mask and a little wristlet bag.
I saw the wristlet bag.
Well, the mask is over there.
Yeah, I saw the mask.
Yes.
I didn't realize it was branded.
Yes.
Very
But
cool.
it's nice. It's multicolored and it's kind of cheery.
Oh, nice.
And I think it's 2 layers of knit fabric or something. So anyway, I thought it was pretty nice. Other than that, I can't think of anything else to say. The headache yesterday was a killer, so I'm really glad I signed off the oxycodone because I think that was contributing to it.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well,
what else?
I have finished my dress. I'm wearing it, yeah?
Yes.
So it is done. It is beautiful. I wore it for my event on Thursday, and it went over swimmingly, and the event went really well. So I'm very pleased.
Did your coworker from Plaza know?
Oh, yes, she knew because I had texted her. I had emailed her that I had made a dress. And of course, I did a little spin for her, and she was like, "Oh, it's gorgeous. Of course. Why would it be anything else?" And I was like, "Yes, good,
Very
good.
nice.
This is why we friends."
That's right.
But yeah, no, I have a lot over here, but a lot of it is planning stuff. I have not been overly
Busy?
I have been busy, but it's been there have been a few days this week where okay, Mr. Carr. Where I have had days where like work has just
overwhelmed.
Well, and it's gone past the work day.
Yes.
So there have been a few days of that.
Happen.
Yeah, it does. It's just frustrating, if nothing else. So there've been a lot of planning, and I picked up some cross stitch this week. So
good. Yes.
I am, as you can see in my lap, I am still working on the sleeves of my Engle, which I think I've only got a few more inches to do, because that's the 6-inch point, and it's probably about 9 inches now.
Yes.
So I've got about 3 more inches to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to try it on and see
what they look like.
How the sleeves fit, because the cuff, there's color work before the cuff, and then the cuff should be approximately 4 inches. So I know that it needs to hit me up here, in order to accommodate that. So I will figure out how much more I need to knit, or if we're good to go. Sometimes it's hard to tell on circular yoke construction, because your sleeves don't come to the same point that raglan sleeves do, or to anything that you would do at either a knit-in sleeve cap or a set-in sleeve cap. So it's just, I find it easier. Yes, typically I do have to knit longer sleeves, but I found with circular yokes, I can get away with the given length for sleeves, just because they end up being longer on everyone else, and then they fit me. It's just the way the construction of the garment goes.
Yes.
So you are so excited about this.
Olivia.
She looks so cute.
Has her feet. She has half a face, because she was uneven on this side, so she got taken out. But this side is cute. So I'm really happy with that eye, and I'm going to try to replicate it over there without messing it up again. So Olivia now has a face, and I just think she's just adorable.
She is.
As the fact that I made her. Then while I was working out how to deal with this eye, I cast on her cardigan. So this week I will finish the body of the cardigan. The sleeves are already on waist yarn. This cardigan would be like a circle cardigan for the rest of us, because Olivia increases as she goes down her body. So the sweater has to increase as it goes down her body. So my plan is to finish the body of the cardigan this week, and hopefully show you that next Sunday. And then I'll do the sleeves the following week. And then there's a hood, apparently, which I did not expect. So meanwhile, the needle for her eye is going through her ear, which sounds really painful, but I thought about it, and that's really kind of how many people pierce their ears. So she may be working on a pierced ear. So that's Olivia. I think she's really doing quite well. And she will then have
a beautiful little cardigan.
A cute cardigan. Now, I did see that they had packed supposedly childproof eyes with her. This one managed to bite through a water gun and get the tip out and shove it up her nose.
Yep.
So I really don't think that there's anything that is truly childproof. So I'm feeling much better about embroidering the eyes on rather than using the plastic little
safety
bits.
Eyes?
Yes, the safety eyes. That's just me. Perhaps when you make the doll, you'd be able to do it and use those safety eyes.
Didn't the mother of the intended recipient chew the eyes off of most of her?
I don't remember that.
You had said that 2 weeks ago.
Could be. So that's how it goes on. So it'll be a nice cardigan for the winter. And yes, we are starting to get kind of fall-ish weather here. which is nice. We've turned off the air conditioner.
Opened all the windows in
Opened the
my
windows.
apartment. It was great.
So we are doing quite well. So that's
Yes.
one thing. Is there something else you want to talk about?
So, as I said, I started working on a cross stitch. So this is a small one from Junebug and Darlin. And it says be bold. And so I am there. So I have a little bit more to go. There we go. So there are some flowers that go over here and down here as well. But they are white. So I am going to do, there are some little blue bits that I'm going to do next. And then I'll do the white. And then I'll do the green for the flowers, or for the leaves and the stems. I wanted to try and do the white last, but I think it's probably better to do it before the leaves and the, like, to do leaves and stems last. I'm not sure. Because I'm going to have to go, like, wash my hands, then use the white, and, like, make sure I don't.
Right.
So, we'll see about that. But it's been I really like the Junebug and Darling pattern. It's really easy to, you know, understand.
Try to do it on different nights. Just because, you know, your hands are clean, do the white.
Yeah.
You know, so you could either do the leaves first and all that, and then
Maybe
do the white another night.
Yeah.
But
maybe I'll do the blue and the green while I'm here, because I'm.
Yeah.
Or I'll keep working on the Engle. I'll do.
There's so many things.
There's so many things, because I'll show you once you show me yours.
So nothing happened on the 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and I was sorry about that, but I got a great deal done. We got new sheets.
Yes.
So this is the sheet bag.
Oh.
The sheets were on sale, and
yes,
we apparently like them a lot.
Oh, good.
Yes. So this is my boy Lollipop.
Yes.
And
you separated the sleeves.
I separated for the sleeves. I would have kept going for the next 2 inches, except I was going to try to work on, and it's starting to get that dimple on the front.
It is.
Try to work on the circle.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my plan all week. But anyway, I had managed to get
that looks great.
A great deal of this done. So I've separated for the sleeves. I would like to get down to the beginning of the side shaping this week, which should take almost no time at all, because it's just plain knit around in the round. So it says knit for 2 inches, and then I do it in decrease round and knit for 1 inch. So we may get down to that. So that is my plan there.
So
I love these bags.
I have gotten to the second section of pixelating.
Ooh.
I've gotten to the point where I think I need to start my waist shaping, which involves markers, because it's going to be at
in the body.
Within the body, not at the side seams. So I need to figure that out. And then, well, it's not really math. It's just, I'm going to have to do color work and the shaping at the same time, which it's not written for, but that's how it's going to go, because I am short-waisted. So, that happens too. But yeah, so how is your circle coat? Are you going to finally show us the darnded circle coat?
Yes. So this sleeve, I have not done the little seaming there. So that's still an open hole. And I've done that much. Then I decided that I can work on one sleeve and just keep doing my alternating of the
I like it. It looks
rows.
good.
Yeah, I really like it too. There. That's a good example.
Yeah.
I have not tried it on this week. I'm picking my hair off of the sweater. I am hanging stitch markers to denote every decrease.
Okay.
So I think I have 10, something like that. So I will know how many decreases to do on the other side, and I think that's one way to get them about the same size. And then what I was thinking, depending on how much of the flannel pajamas I've got, I could do the 28 rows in gray on one sleeve and 28 rows in the flannel pajamas on the other sleeve, and I think that might be interesting. that would be fun, I think. Almost like opposite socks in a pair, which I did several years ago with my mosaic Halloween socks. I really liked that. And it was an interesting way of looking at color dominance in terms of which hand was holding which yarn. So this is the sleeve that was giving me all kinds of problems. I think it's interesting that when I was doing it all one color, I was managing to get a sleeve and a half done in 1 week. And this week, I was doing 2 colors, and I got maybe 4 inches done.
Well, but you also had surgery, and
which I didn't tell anybody about.
Yeah.
Because why get people upset if you don't have to? So this is the circle sweater. It is coming along. My goal this week, as I've been telling you for the past 3 weeks,
is to get it done.
So I think that I'm only going to do 12 repeats of the decrease on this, and then I will try it on, because then there is a length that you do in plain stockinette stitch. So
stockinette or rib?
Rib. So it's coming along. And it's going to be that time of year when it will be needed. Apparently not this week, because by Wednesday it's going to be warm again. I think maybe wet too, but definitely, excuse me, my nose is just warm again.
Because I'm using the...
Here it is. It's doing pretty well. I have a little bit more of the gray than I have of the flannel pajamas. So it may be that alternating... or having the one sleeve with one and the other sleeve with the other, one in flannel pajamas, one in gray, will work out really well. So I'm pretty pleased with that. There was something I wanted to start, and I didn't, which is good, because I can, it was in 1600.
Yeah.
So once I finish flannel pajamas, then I can take the time that I was putting into that into 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and get that worked upon. So, what else? Did you get a chance to look at Pom Pom or no?
Well, hold on.
Okay.
So, I signed up for that. Did you pick yarn yet?
No.
Well, I'm about to discuss the yarn I picked. So, this is what we're discussing. If you can't see the photo, is the Stephen West Knits Mystery Knit Along for 2020. I wasn't originally going to do this. And yes, I'm about to call you out. Ashby and Shamika, you made me do it.
She made me do it.
Me?
Yes, you talked about it.
Oh, I did talk about it. So,
and I went and read up on it, and it's going to be something like...
Yes, the painted bricks.
The painted bricks that he had.
Yes.
The blanket?
No, shawl.
Shawl.
So
I said, I could do that.
Stephen West posted, and Stephen and Penelope, his shop in Amsterdam, had a bunch of kits. And so Shamika and Ashby and I were all texting back and forth. Ashby's not going to be doing it, but Shamika and I are. Shamika also was the person who enabled me to do last year's Mystery Knit Along, which ended up being my Starflake, which I absolutely love. So I think, I really do love the large Stephen West pieces, and I think this one will be really nice as well. So there was a photo that really inspired me. It was a purple and 2 grays and a peach. So I went stash diving, and I found 2 purples, 2 grays, or 2 skeins of a purple. My hair now that we're picking off of things. A light gray, a dark gray, and a peach.
Perfect.
Yeah. So.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So this is Black Dahlia by Asylum Fibers in her twisted base. This is Slate in Yummy 2-ply by Miss Babs. This is Amaretto from Bugbear Woolens in her High Twist BFL. And this is No Sleep Till Brooklyn from Molly Girl on her Bouncer colorway. I originally had this with the woolen colorway from Asylum Fibers to use in a 2-color something, because they're both made for the woolen shop in Brooklyn. and I was thinking I was going to replace this with that colorway, but it didn't work as well, so that's for a different sweater that is actually hasn't been released yet, so I'm still waiting for the different qualifications for that. So that's my Stephen West shawl. I haven't done the quick wrapping method for the swatching that he suggests in order to pick colors, but I think it'll really work well together. I think they all will play nicely together, so I don't think I have to.
I think it'll be pretty good.
I'm very excited about it. But
I couldn't get upstairs, so no, I couldn't go get...
Well, you could have done it one of the mornings you wake up before Dad, is what I was saying.
No, when I was taking drugs,
I
wasn't waking up.
So this morning was the first morning you woke up before Dad, is what you were saying.
Actually, yesterday was, but then at 6 yesterday I decided to take the oxycodone. I slept till 10, woke up with a headache, and said, all right, we're not doing that again.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I didn't understand.
Didn't understand.
I'm sorry.
So,
well... Yes,
I couldn't
you
get upstairs, so I had to pick my wool.
I was going to say, but did you look at any of the, because my other inspiration was, there was a bright, like, yellow, and then 3 grays.
I saw that.
That is really intriguing. Did you see, well, because I'm asking,
so
did
I'm
you see
thinking
any?
of looking at, I have collections of blacks, and I have collections of grays. So I'm thinking of 2 grays, and then I will
as your main color,
yes.
and then 3 multicolor
yes.
to do the, yes. That'll be very nice.
I think so. And since that opens up all kinds of things, I can even look into the giveaway bag.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, I can look at that giveaway bag and see if there's...
Not giveaways for you all. This was yarn that was given to us.
So I can see where that goes too.
Yeah.
So all I have to do is find the main color.
Yeah.
And that would be good. Anyway.
Yes.
So that inspired me. And I had another something I was going to talk about. Darn.
Well, I've got like 3 more things.
Down. Oh, Craftsy is up and
Yes.
running. So if you had a membership, you should have gotten all kinds of emails about it. So they have their website up, so you can check that out. I had sent away for a raincoat pattern, and this is one that is from Laughing Moon Mercantile. Men's and ladies' late Georgian and Regency greatcoat and Garrick. Who knows what a Garrick is? 1750 to 1825. And these patterns have the capelet coming down over the shoulders, and it has 3 layers of capelet. What I'm envisioning is having 1 capelet and then having the hood collar be a 2nd level capelet when you don't need the hood. What I really like is a raincoat. It had its own hood because how many times are you caught out and all of a sudden it's raining and you've got a raincoat but your head's sticking out? Mm-hmm. That's not optimal. So, and the other thing I was thinking out with the hood, rather than necessarily having drawstrings, but actually having snaps. So you snap it together so it forms kind of like a hood shape. So it's something, kind of wandering around in my head.
We have the expansion for the princess coat from Gertie.
And we have the 1910 coat.
And we have the 1910
coat.
So
the coat will be an amalgamation of all of the above. Yes.
Yes. But I think that will have to wait until you're more mobile to...
Yes, I think so too.
To start working on that. So while I was picking out yarn for the Stephen West pattern, I found what was going to be, I think, a fading point or a starting point. I'm not as inspired about that anymore. I still think the patterns are beautiful, but I have these 3 now, or these 4.
Yeah, those are 4.
Yeah, thanks. So this is Autumn Rhinebeck. It's the Rhinebeck colorway from La Bien Amie from a few years ago, from Indian Tangled.
Okay.
And then I have these 3, which are beautiful. And actually, when I was looking at it for the Stephen West shawl, one of my friends had said that they have an extra skein of the La Bien Amie. So I then started looking and was like, I don't know if it really needs to be a Libyan, now that I have found my Stephen West purples for that shawl, I don't think I need to make that shawl in these. So where is it? So I'm thinking of doing the Swallowtail by Jamie Hoffman, which is...
Hold on. No, it's not.
That, with a bit more of what I'm calling a pale, more of a Victorian painted house kind of colors. So my main color would be this, which is the pink in the photo.
Mm-hmm.
The green would be the green in the photo. The pale purple lavender would be the white, and then I'm going to swatch it, so I might need a navy blue instead of this lighter blue to be the actual details.
Interesting.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
So that was also something I had been messing about with. Yes. Of course, I have everything, still in my queue to do, and, everything that I wanted to do.
I have 400 plus things in my queue.
I know. I want to do all of things.
Oh, Fibre Space has a pop-up shop by Miss Babs.
Yes.
And in Fibre Space's blog, it has some of the sweaters with the supply requirements. And I went through there this morning, and honey, did I spend some money. So I bought several of the patterns that are in there. And I've got nothing to show you. Actually, I guess I could look them up in here, and they would be the ones latest added to my my library.
Yes.
Duh. Is that this? Yes. Stop. There. My notebook. Library. Okay, so I added, the Nogueira sweater, the Itatiaia, whatever, cocoon, Talvin, Palomar pullover, Firenze, El Jardin, Montes, and Polsai pullover, which I will now show you.
That is very pretty.
This is Nogueira, and that yoke has some very pretty lace.
Cables, or just
no,
lace?
it's just lace.
Okay.
Just lace. So then we'll back up. The Itatiaia. Itatiaia. Sorry. I have no clue about
it's
how
a
you
cocoon with a cable down the back.
Yes. And it looks fabulous.
It does.
Okay, close. And there was, by getting that one and the one previous, it was 30% off.
Mm.
So there was a coupon for an amount off for the two sweaters. Then another circle-ish. The reason I got this is I have the Yowza. So this was made for Yowza. And it's so much fun when I actually have exactly the yarn that the designer had set up for it. And I have it in like a multicolored type of yarn. So I'm not sure that almost anything else would be necessarily good for it. Palomar pullover I got because I thought this is also a sweater that you could use with some of the minis that we've got.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't have to repeat your stripes. You could have one main repeating stripe, kind of like that yellow is, and then have the rest in minis that you don't repeat. So that was my thought there. Whoops. Do this much? No, not often. Close, over, down. Then Firenze. Yes, Trina Anikiva is one that... Irina, sorry. Irina Anikiva was one where if you bought 5 patterns, then the least expensive one was free. Yeah, so
that's a beautiful cabled yoke.
Yes, I think it's very pretty.
Yeah.
So I went and looked, and one of the other sweaters that she had was one that I liked. So I said, okay.
Oh, with that lace panel.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
And I could always extend the sleeves on that, but I think that's a great summer sweater since I do like having sleeves. Montes. This is cables all over.
Cabley goodness.
So that was really terrific. So I got that. And Pole's Eye, which I liked because there's just pieces of lace that are interspersed within kind of a plain stockinette.
Yeah.
And it's repeated as a piece on the sleeve. So I like that. Then there was one I was looking at in the blog. Oh, there's Saturday night sweater. I didn't buy it. And I didn't buy the Saturday night sweater because when I looked at it in Ravelry, it looked fetching in the blog. When I looked at it on Ravelry, I went, you know, with a full-on view, for me, it's kind of boring. It's a plain pullover sweater with nice A-line shaping, but nothing else was talking to me.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Right. So I didn't get it.
Okay.
But there is a sweater in Pom Pom that I think would lend itself. And because what I was thinking with the Saturday sweater, that it was one that I would want to add a V-neck. I would want to do something with the neck rather than having it just lay on my body. So I think it's in there. Not that one, but that one. That I could, since I already have that pattern, I could make some changes in that to get it to be exactly what I wanted. But I think that there's a number of things in the latest issue of Pom Pom that are fantastic. And we'll be showing you that in just a second.
Yes. So the first thing that came this week, as you can see, because I'm flipping through it, is the newest Pom Pom, which we all have been seeing a lot on Instagram for weeks now. So the fact that it's out and in the world now is very exciting. It's the Autumn 2020, and it is guest edited by Ocean Rose.
It's on the back. She's on the back. Isn't that her?
No, that's not Ocean.
Oh, okay.
No, Ocean is... That's Ocean. So they have a piece in the beginning about Black Lives Matter, which they do, and they also have a beautiful little spread about Indigenous land and forgotten Black women whose lives have been ended unceremoniously, particularly due to police brutality. That the Say Her Name campaign began with Breonna Taylor, who we still cannot forget and should not forget because her killers are still free. There are many other women who we need to remember their names as well. But that is where that began. And it's really kind of beautiful in a way that it's just presented as a page here in Pom Pom. And then you come to the cover pattern, which is Tortoiseshell by Sylvia Watts Cherry, who did the Nubian Queen pullover, which is beautiful and amazing. And this is just as beautiful and amazing. And this was inspired by tufted fabric made by the Kuba people of today's Democratic Republic of the Congo. And it's just really beautiful. And I've seen a lot of people being very excited to finally have the pattern in their hands. And then we have Delphinius,
which I love.
which is cables, and I think it's
Lace.
mohair.
Could be.
Yeah, mohair and mulberry silk entwines with a smooth fingering weight yarn. And it's just beautiful. Just beautiful.
Bigger picture of it.
Yes. But our lighting isn't all that great. But yeah, it's an amazing sweater just to wear over almost anything, I think. And because you are going to be knitting it with a mohair and a fingering weight held together, you can make some really interesting color combinations. You could go with a super bright neon mohair or fingering weight and then mute it down with, you know, a gray or a tan or a natural color, you know, for the other yarn held. And I've seen really beautiful things done with mohair over the last few years, which is great. And then there's this beautiful colorwork cow called Chuska by Tressa Wardner. And it's modeled by James Watts, who is also a figure in our community, who has done, I think he's got a beautiful little beret pattern that I've seen so many people knit up. And I'm more of a beanie and a slouchy person, but I think that's just due to the way I wear my hair most often. But yeah, so then we have Nestled Down, which is, I like this one.
Which is the sweater I was talking about.
It's
Altering
just
to make it the way I would want it to be. As you look at it as a full-length sweater, it's got a lovely border at the hem. It's just that I find that this kind of one-note front is not exactly what I want to do with my knitting.
But it's beautiful. I mean,
it's very pretty.
It's got very deep arms, which I could see being very comfortable and very cozy.
So I have to think about what I would want to do with it. Because I love the idea of a throw-on sweater. I truly love the idea of a throw-on sweater, but I'm not sure that either one of the Saturday sweater or this one is exactly what I want.
So then we have the Naya, which is a shawl, which in this photo is a knit in a light speckle, modeled by Ocean. Yes, modeled by Ocean herself. And then this is Atlantica, which is this beautiful cable and lace and bobble.
So forth, I love it.
A lace and 2 shades of a woolly lace weight yarn held together. So that's, I'm trying.
I know.
If you hold it like this, they can see it better because it got.
I probably won't do the bobbles, but I like the rest of it.
Yes. And then here it is in another color. And it's beautiful. I'm probably going to make one as well. And then there's a shawl that's called Crossfade, which has some beautiful texture to it and some cables in that texture.
Notice I didn't fold any ears on the shawl patterns. Stephen West is about all I'm going to go for a shawl.
Oh, and then there's Celestite, which is a pair of socks that have a textured, like, cloud-like pattern on it. Oh, and then this is Yuan Yu, which is by Tiffany Wong. And it's a short jacket with garter motifs. It's also modeled by James, and it's just really lovely. It's kind of got a bomber jacket kind of shape, and I could see it being very cozy and comfy for the fall. And it's 2 color. And then there's Arlite by Wei Chen Chan, the petite knitter. And it's got a colorwork, stripy kind of
yoke.
But I was going to say like lightning bolty squiggly yoke.
Yes.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Better photos of that one. Yeah. Yes, we're trying to deal with the lighting here.
Hopefully, I think next week we'll be up in our usual
All right.
yarn atelier.
And then there's, as always with Pom Pom, there are beautiful articles. There's The Language of Wool by Elliot Maud. There is Deconstructing String by Sukrita Mahon. It's
and a no-bake cheesecake.
A no-bake berry cheesecake by Kat Siexas?
Yeah, say six. Something like that.
Sorry. And then you come to the patterns at the back of the book. And
Right.
it's just, I personally have been anxiously anticipating its arrival since a lot of people have been posting about it. And I only saw this week that people were receiving it. But I've heard a lot about it during quarantine. Or in the time since March. So I was anxiously awaiting being able to see it in person.
It's
So
stunning.
that's exciting. Another thing that came this week is our power mesh for our leggings to
All right.
add pockets. So it's got
nice.
Yeah, it's got some nice stretch to
Yes.
it. So that'll be good to
Good
add
to have.
pockets on our leggings that we have plans to make. And then along with that came the interior. I'm trying not to hit your leg. Or the opposite fabric to my 1912 cape from American Duchess pattern. So this is the one that just came. The fabric I bought previously is this one. So I think it's going to look beautiful together.
It'll have two different looks.
Yes, which kind of was the point.
This does have naps. I mean, you're going to have to see which way you want it to run.
Yeah, I know. So I think I got 3 yards of that. So that should be fine.
Should be. It's very wide.
Yes. And so then I had started patterning out this pattern.
Sorry, it's just trying to hurt.
And I had done 4 out of the 5 pieces. And I realized I didn't put seam allowance on it because this is a historical pattern. The pattern, as patterned, doesn't have seam allowance in it. Because that no one had...
Just knew to add it on.
Well, and also, you could add however much seam allowance you particularly wanted. So we're going to take, for example, the collar pattern. See? It's beautiful. But now, once you add your seam allowance, it gets a little bit bigger, and so you have that double line now. So I put a 1/2 inch seam allowance. I only did 2 out of the 5 pattern pieces when I redrew it because I was getting frustrated. So that's what happened. But I'm excited to get that patterned and hopefully the cape done soon so I can have it for this fall. Because it's starting to get into coat weather.
Yes.
Or at least
Thinking about it. Yeah.
Yes. So, and I found a bunch of these little clip folders a few weeks ago in my apartment, and I have been finding that they've been very useful for putting the patterns that I have been patterning out on Swedish pattern paper to keep them tidy.
In good shape.
Yes.
Berta is another pattern company that requires you to add seam allowance. I'm not sure about Moda. Moda is one that you used to get through Vogue, yes. And I'm not sure whether they still label them as La Moda or not. But I know that Berta, which patterns you could get in a pattern envelope as well as through the magazine, you needed to add seam allowance. So something to keep in mind.
Yeah. So that came in the mail. But
one thing I do when I'm ordering fabric for sewing, I'm going to look at the requirements on the back of the envelope, but then I will generally add a half a yard. And the reason I do this is because way back when I was making my Easter dress, and my mom looked at the pattern with me. We bought the recommended amount for the pattern, and I had pleats in this, and I got to doing the last pleat insert, and there wasn't enough. So I ended up having to buy a full yard. Luckily, the store that I had bought the original fabric from still had that original bolt, and I was able to get it. But I can't imagine if, it was painful. So I now I would have only needed an extra 9 inches. So now I buy an extra 18 inches in length in order to make sure that I've got enough for when I cut out, just in case the pattern maker is wrong.
Yeah, so the chevron fabric was quite pricey, even though I did get it on sale from Mood. So I did only buy 3 yards. It recommends 2 to 3 yards.
Okay.
So we will see. But there was a bit of a concession that had to be made with, because I usually buy over the amount that is required. But this was quite pricey, so I wanted to keep it a bit, closer. But other than that, that's what I've got going on. I haven't worked on my Aunt Fred because I want to get either this or the Pixelated off my needles first, whichever comes first, before I start something new, because I would like to There's
something very positive about finishing something and actually getting to wear it.
Yes.
So, yes. So, I'm really happy that I started working on Olivia when I did.
Yes.
Because I think that she would have killed my hands. The the cardigan is not hurting at all. I think that the sleeves will be back to hurting, but I'll do those in the round with magic loop. We'll get that done with, I think, little problem. Yeah, I think the pieces that hurt on Olivia are done.
Yay!
Yes.
But you and I are getting very yawny.
I know. Something about this time in the afternoon.
Something about it. But I think that means that we have come to the point where we will weave in our ends.
Weave in those ends.
Except we don't have any ends to weave in because we haven't finished anything recently.
Well, I could be weaving in ends with those sleeves, but We're going to finish those sleeves.
You're going to get them done?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. I will not have drugs to be making me sleepy as I work on them, or ill. So, yes.
All right. But,
so that's a good deal. And maybe I'll get to counter cross stitch this week. Maybe I'll just get to finishing sleeves. Either way, that'll be progress.
Yes.
I am missing the counter cross stitch.
I bet. There's only so much you can do.
There's only so much you can do.
If you end up having double vision and not telling your family about it.
Well, it went away. And at the moment, I'm going to bed when Rich feels like going to bed, since I'm supposed to have, I need help getting the walker upstairs. So, he sleeps a lot longer than I do, so I'm not getting as much done in the night after he goes to bed.
Well, I was going to say, maybe this week when you graduate from the walker to the cane, you'll be able to...
Yeah, because then I could go up with the cane at,
if he brings it up when he goes up there.
That's true. Then that would be fine.
Yeah.
That would work.
Look at that.
So we're making great strides.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Well, I think it's time to weave in those ends, and we will talk to you all next week.
Goodbye.
Actually,
what?
We say that. Unfortunately, Ruth Bader Ginsburg has passed away.
Oh, yes.
May her memory be a blessing. And now, as has come about, may her memory be a revolution. It has prompted me to take a second or third look at the dissent pullover to maybe make one. I have found that there's a cowl that looks very similar. I don't know. I have feelings, and I'm trying to work through them. But it is another reminder to make a plan to vote.
Oh, yes.
And vote. If you
because there are groups that are out there trying to impede or hinder people from voting. I saw a newsflash from Virginia where they had a protest group out in front of the government building that was being set aside for voting, and they actually had to have some of the government officials come out and escort voters into the building to get them past the protest group. So you want to think about voting and in what way will you be physically safe, and just make a plan for it. So
make a plan, because if you were unaware prior to now, thanks to Supreme Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, if you are a woman and you are able to, due to Ruth Bader Ginsburg, you are able to open up a bank account under your own name without having a male cosigner. You are able to lease or own property without a male cosigner. You are able to sign off on any medical procedure without a male cosigner. And there's a whole list of other things that she's done. I acknowledge that, she did have some views that are, now not so great. But she did do those things, and those were huge. And I do think we need to remember that because of her, we are, we as women are able to partake in society. And one of those things is voting. So get out and vote. Make a plan. Check in with your friends to see if they have plans. Just do it. And may her memory be a blessing and a revolution.
What we're saying is Ruth Bader Ginsburg managed to make sure that women had some of the rights that had been normally accorded to men with property, had been expanded to generally the male population, and now have been expanded to include the female population, which is, I think, incredibly important.
And we now need to help and ensure that it is expanded to all under...
live in the United States.
Yes, all under the United States. I was trying to think of, all under this country, because as we've learned over the last few months or have known, that is not the case. A lot of people don't have the same rights as others who live in this country. So get out, go vote, be careful, wear your mask, be respectful of those who are working the polls.
Other abled, as I am right now, I will be taking my cane that has a stool seat built in, so that if I get to my voting place and there is a line, I will be able to sit and wait while waiting to go vote. So you make plans ahead. I may not need it. I may be fine, and there may not be a line, but I will go with the idea that I may have to wait, and I need to make that waiting time as comfortable as possible. So I'm taking the cane that has a stool.
So yeah, I did want to acknowledge that, and that, that is a major thing that has happened in this world. And, if you are going to be remembering her, remember that she was a faithful Jew, and that the proper way to express condolences in the Jewish faith is to say, may their memory be a blessing, just as a reminder, so that we honor that as well. So with that, we should all weave in our ends, and we will talk next week. Goodbye.